All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The Dallas Mavericks have tied it up. I'm absolutely loving it, man. DFS, Luca, Chris Paul fouling out for just, I think it was the fourth time in his NBA playoff career. Guys like Chris Paul don't foul out. Not just because he's like point guard, but he's been in the league for so long. He's played in so many playoff games. He hasn't gone that far all the time, but he has played in so many playoff games. That's such a crazy stat. But it's even more impressive what Dallas was really able to do to him tonight. I mean, Chris Paul had nothing going. Luca was all over that. But shout out DFS, man. I'm giving game ball to DFS. If you guys are new here, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Trying to hit 15K by the end of the playoffs, although I don't think that's gonna happen. Dallas ties it up, man. I was watching Draymond Green not too long ago, like a couple of days ago, before the series. I think actually the Suns had already won game one, but not at the time of his recording. He was saying he picked the Mavs. Like, he had Mavs in 7. His reasoning a little bit different than mine, but basically the way I see it is with Luca, you can win at any point. Like, you can win if you have a player like Luca Doncic. You can win any game at any time. Doesn't matter. Even if he's a little injured, obviously, there's variables that are going to go into it that are going to increase or decrease your odds. Like Luca's injury, definitely doesn't help. But the main point being, if you have a generational talent like Luca Doncic doing the things Luca Doncic does, I mean, you can really beat anybody whenever. So you can't count Dallas out, as especially them getting to 2-2 right now. Like, you definitely don't want to count them out. Tonight it was really, to me, DFS. Obviously, Luca, Brunson, they played really solid. Reggie had a couple threes for him. Kleber was a huge upgrade over Dwight Powell. Dwight basically kind of came in, picked up some quick fouls. He had like 3 fouls in 10 minutes, missed both of his free throws. He wasn't doing anything. Switched to Maxi Kleber, 11 points, 7 rebounds, a block with a 3 for a plus 16. Just way more efficient. So that was a great adjustment there by Jason Kidd. But DFS with 8 threes tonight, I mean, he was the dude. He's getting game balled. I mean, 24 points, all of them were threes. He shot 8 of 13 from the field, 8 of 12 from downtown for 8 rebounds. There was a point in that, I think it was the fourth quarter. Yeah, it was the fourth quarter. It was like getting late to the end of the game where the Suns, Chris Paul had fouled out. All right, Chris Paul fouled out relatively quickly, played 23 minutes if I'm not mistaken. And so, the announcers kept saying, if I'm the Mavericks, my foot's not going off the gas pedal just because Chris Paul's out. You got to be worried about being like complacent and settling for bad looks. You got to keep your foot on the gas, foot on their necks. So, Booker's kind of getting his bag. He dropped 35 points tonight. Ayton's getting a little bit involved. Cam Johnson had a solid game. Mikal Bridges doing, Jay Crowder. Like, the Suns are a really, really deep team. One of, if not the most deep teams left in the NBA. They're probably the deepest team left in the league. But basically, yeah, like Booker kind of just, scoring some points. They weren't really going away. They were keeping it at like a double digit, or like they were keeping it from like 7 to 11 points. So it wasn't enough where Dallas was like, oh shit, like, what's going on here? And keep in mind, games at Dallas, so, keep that crowd in mind as well. But Dallas is keeping right back up with them. Well, DFS drains like 2 straight threes, which he was doing all night, might I add, but drains like 2 threes, and it was just unreal. I literally jumped out of my seat. His second three, I'm eating a bowl of Frosted Flakes. First 3, it's not like they were crazy, got 2 bodies, he pumps it, jumps and then shoot. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. But he drains like 2 huge transition threes after the Mavs get like 2 huge stops, and bang. Just like that, 6-point swing, DFS. I think he just like stood directly right after he made the 3 and just looked at the crowd. It was sick. I'm like, let's freaking go. Like, this is awesome. I'm not particularly rooting for anybody, Phoenix or Dallas. I'm just enjoying this series. I honestly don't care who wins this. I'm like, I was amped up for Dallas. I was rooting for Dallas in that moment. So DFS, man, we know what he can do on defense. He can really do everything on defense. He can guard a bunch of different dudes. He can play a couple positions on offense. He's interchangeable. The switching's there. Like, he is so multifaceted, especially on the defensive end. And I think people are finally kind of starting to catch on to that this year, but especially right now in the playoffs. If he can continue what he's doing, the Mavs are going to be a tough team for Phoenix to take down with 3 games remaining. You are headed back to Phoenix. And Dallas is going to know this as well, but Chris Paul is going to be pissed, dude. Like, he's going to be super pissed off. And so the 37-25 run that Dallas got off to in the first quarter tonight, I don't anticipate that happening in Game 5 in Phoenix. Obviously, you want to do the same thing if you're Dallas, but I would imagine Phoenix is like, F that shit. Like, we are not doing that ever again. That was just abysmal. 17 turnovers. They were super sloppy with the basketball. They couldn't really make their threes. Things just weren't really going well for Phoenix. Granted, Dallas played a solid game. They kept their turnovers in check. They weren't really making 2-pointers, though. That's the thing. Like, it was a good game for Dallas, but it's not like they, did anything all that crazy. You saw Luca shoot 1 of 10 from downtown, but he's still 26, 7, 11, 4 steals. Like, he still helped a ton. But he shot 1 of 10 from downtown. They had more threes than they did twos. And whenever you have that, I'm always thinking, I'm like, is that like impressive, or is that kind of doggy, or is it like a combination of both? I think it's a combination of both, because it's dope that they made 20 threes, 20 for 44, 45.5% clip. That is just elite right there. That's like record-breaking shit. And then it's kind of doggy that they only made 18 field goals. Like, they shot 45% from the field, but 20 of their 38 makes were from downtown. So is it doggy? Not really, but kind of. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like Dallas played out of their freaking minds, and they just barely scraped by Phoenix, needing every extra inch. No. Phoenix didn't really play good. Dallas didn't really play good, except for shooting the 3 ball. Defensively, like, super solid. But, like, basically the point I'm trying to get at here is that, like, I can already imagine there's some people out there thinking, like, all right, Dallas just won their 2 games at home. Now you're headed to Phoenix. Phoenix is going to be pissed off. Like, Dallas better be ready to play well. Like, they've been playing just super solid all series. I would put all the pressure on Phoenix. That's, like, kind of the big thing with this series here is all the pressure is on Phoenix. All of the pressure. Is that deserving? I would say so. I mean, you made the NBA Finals last year, right? So, kind of the expectation when you lose in the NBA Finals, the expectation the next season, every time, 100%, no questions asked, is, all right, get back to the finals, and this time win it. And it's like, that shit's hard, dude. Making back-to-back finals, losing the finals, and winning the finals. Like, you got to be a super good team, which Phoenix is, or well coached. They got it all. But what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of young dudes on this squad, like DeAndre Ayton. You got guys like Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker's young. Like, there's a bunch of young dudes, and then there's dudes like, Chris Paul, who are, I hate saying this, but like kind of known for not winning finals. So they have a ton of pressure. Over in Dallas, there is not a speck of pressure. You went out, you traded Kristaps, your second star, and you got better from it. Like, Dallas is looking like a really enticing place to go if I'm a free agent. If I'm a free agent right now, particularly I'm a big man. I'm like Miles Turner. Let's say I'm Miles Turner. I guess he's not about to be a free agent. Nurkic maybe. It's going to be interesting because you want like a lob threat, kind of a guy like Dwight Powell. Kind of want a space flex. Anyways, you're a free agent and you're thinking, all right, Dallas has money. They have defense. They have Luca. And, like, even if they were to lose the next 2 games, I'm still like, all right, they're just clearly missing just some stuff. Like, they're just missing that other star, that star power outside of your superstar. And if they could just get one more star, or even a guy like Miles Turner there, the tide's going to turn. That's going to be an even better basketball team, and they're already really good. So if I'm a star right now, I'm a young star. I'm not saying Julius Randle specifically, but guys like in that age where you're kind of entering your prime right now, you're like just entering your prime, and you're looking for more of an opportunity. Whatever the case may be. I'm looking at Dallas. I'm like, get my ass to Dallas. Everything's bigger in Texas. Everything's better in Texas. So, yeah, I've never been to Dallas, actually, but I love Texas. My time in Texas. So this is going to be an interesting series, and even more so, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but if Dallas were to actually win this series and Phoenix were to lose, that would cause some chaos and mayhem. That would cause some chaos and mayhem. It'd be crazy. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself. And I'm good with whatever happens here. So hit the like button. Most importantly, go ahead, drop a comment down below. What are your thoughts on this game? What were your thoughts on this? Or what were your thoughts on this game? What are your thoughts on the series in general? Hit the like button, hit that sub button, and I'll see you guys later.